Right, good evening. Welcome back to VP4 TV, a slimmed down version tonight, but that's a long story. And welcome back to Virtual Pool 4 Online. We are here for, well, what was supposed to be a main match of the evening, but that's now been scuppered by the fact that Mal and Albinario have decided to take that title as the main match of the evening. Originally what we had was, we had Mark Shark against Sangetsu, and they were scheduled for the top of the hour. But yesterday or the day before, Albinario and Mal have agreed to set their match, but they've set it to clash with this one, the one that starts at 7. So we're going to have to keep an eye on Mark Shark and Zangetsu, because the match we're going to have to watch is Albinario and Mal, which starts at 7:15. So we'll start maybe the first couple of racks with Mark Shark and Zangetsu, then we'll move over to Albinario and Mal, and we'll keep close tabs on what's happening with the top match. A match that got added today was Tornado Tam and Ice Age. These are one-loss side matches. Also, the Simanx Brainpillout one is a one-loss side, and then finally those matches are for Saturday, and then finally Spudboy and Dirties on the winner's side. They also go ahead on Saturday, but that's 10 PM at night. That is too late for me because I've got one more working day on the Sunday morning, and then I'm off for the first week of the World Championships, snooker. Now Steve's already been in, he's gone to fetch himself a coffee, and he'll be back in a minute or two, no doubt. Now where's this match? Let's keep an eye on the bracket. Right, that's the one we want to keep at that point on the bracket, so that we can tab in and out to have a quick look at what's happening. So these, well, although obviously Mal and Albinario don't have a huge record in black ball, they've adapted to it very quickly, as you would expect from the players of that class. And it's going to be a bit of a toss of a coin as to how this is going to go. I don't know how to call that match. It's going to be, I mean, it really could be one-sided, because both of them are that good that one could dominate. It's really hard to tell. Good evening to Cheeky Chico. Well, I could give you a long story and I'd bore you to death, but yesterday morning I had a Windows update while I was doing something else on the PC, and I can't remember what I was doing, but the Windows update started, and then I rebooted the computer, and my computer is what is it you call it, an Asus ROG Republic of Gamers PC, and there's a logo comes up at the beginning with a little rotating circle, a little rotating broken circle, just as it loads the desktop. Well, it started loading with a little circle, and then it froze. The little circle froze and nothing happened with the PC, and so I tried it again, same thing. Then you start to get worried. So then I thought I'll do a system restore. Did a system restore and rebooted the PC, did exactly the same thing. I thought, right, I'll look, see if we've got another system restore file. Did that, exactly the same result. So that was a good sort of 2 hours messing about, trying to work out what it was. And to cut a long story short, we had to do a reinstall of Windows. And so I don't know, I think the audio has been fixed. I did a test stream last night. The audio was crap. There seemed to be a buzzing noise. I think I've got that sorted. I don't know how good Discord is going to sound to people because I've just had that reinstalled and I've done nothing to it. But we'll find that out in a minute when Steve comes back. So you can let us know what you think. But anyway, the Windows reinstall done fine, and I did a reinstall where you keep your files and folders. Well, it doesn't keep all your files and folders, I can tell you that straight away, because I would have been using Broadcaster tonight for all my little musical interludes and stuff, but that has been scuppered because that needs a serious look at to fix it, and I couldn't be bothered. I didn't want to take the time to mess about with that for 2 or 3 hours a day to get it set up. So we're back onto the old Gamecaster. And I've got my little doodle tonight. Good afternoon to Dwight. So if you guys haven't checked the bracket, the story is that we had the one main match with Mark Shark and Zangetsu at the top of the hour. But that's now changed because Albinario and Mal are going at 1/4 the hour. So we're going to start with the first match and then move straight across to those guys once they start. They're going to get prime time viewing as their reputation demands. So we'll give them that. But I'm just annoyed that we're going to miss certainly potentially one good match as well. You know, if only they'd looked at the bracket and said, right, well, we maybe want to start this at 8 o'clock or something like that. You know, it might have been okay. But like I say, that's them doing me a favour. If the time permits that that's the time that it has to go ahead at, then fine and fair enough to the guys. So, we're about 5 minutes away, and I wonder how many of you guys are prepared to put your neck on the line and say who's going to win these matches. Zangetsu and Mark Shark could be very close. The other one could be very close. I am totally sort of sitting on the fence as to what the result's going to be and who's going to win. Very difficult call. Strange table, strange physics, strange pockets, but I think pretty much all of these players have been adapting to it pretty well. So they've got an opportunity to march on tonight. Now, what rounds are these matches? I think it's a second round match with Albinario and Mal, and I think the other one's a second round match as well. So it is. Oh, the good news is, good evening, Tommy. The good news is that MC Clarkey was in the lobby earlier on today, and I spoke to him. He's been unwell with COVID, and he has been in contact, or he has sent a proposal, maybe one or two, to his opponent, who I can't find on the bracket because I've probably gone past it twice already. There it is. MC Clarkey plays Bankster. Now, I told him that Bankster's usually a regular on Friday night 9-ball, so if he's trying to contact him and he hasn't had a response, maybe if he dropped in tomorrow night, he might see him if he signed up to the tournament. But there is still a few days deadline before they have to get that played, so it's not that far away. What is it? Is this what's today's date? Is this the 13th or the 14th? I'm losing track of time here. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Right, so we've got probably about another 3 minutes away before this goes. The 14th it is, right, so that's another, I think it's another 6 days before they have to play, so there's no panic. I'm sure I'll be able to get a hold of him then, and then MC Clarkey might be a wee bit more recovered. Yeah, that sounds a fair call, that, Chico. Because I just think that they're going to be very close. I watched Mal and Semi-Pro playing a race to 7. Oh no, sorry, it was a race to 5. In Blackball the other day, they were just in a room, and Mal, I think they had the shot clock set at 10 seconds or something stupid like that. I can't remember whether it was that match or not, but anyway, they were playing a race to 5 in Blackball, and Mal was 4-0 up. And to cut a long story short on that, Mal lost 5-4. Semi got the next 5 racks, took him out. But it's still, I mean, Semi's in good shape, that he's got all the time and practice that he's put in, but he's got to be wary. There's guys in this tournament that can do him damage if he maybe stumbles across a bad afternoon or a bad evening. You never know. But when Steve gets here, you can let us know what he sounds like, because I haven't a clue. I was speaking to Semi-Pro on Discord the other day, and he said I'm loud and clear. I'm louder than I've ever been. I know the stream sound coming through XSplit Gamecaster, as far as I'm concerned, for me, should sound a lot better than it did yesterday. It was really poor. Oh, welcome, Mal. Good luck in your match. Steve will be in watching it, casting his critical eye over it.
Good evening, guys.
Now, let us know how Steve sounds, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, or you can't hear him at all.
You sound like you're in a tunnel.
Do I?
Yeah.
Well,
a lot of reverb. Well, you're not broadcasting from the bathroom, are you?
No, but if you, I had a problem with the PC yesterday after a Windows update, and I had to reinstall Windows. So any things I had done in my audio have all gone. So it's just a reinstall back to XSplit Gamecaster, and the sound is what it is. Well, according to WizKid, the sound on the stream sounds good, but maybe it's maybe you just need to adjust me a wee bit in Discord. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're going to need to go back through and do that Discord audio, but don't worry about it now.
No. Right, well, I think both of these matches are going to be very close. Well, we're going to get in. Zangetsu and Mark Sharp are going to lag for the break. Now, I've changed the camera setup. Instead of the top-down TV view, I've gone for the end of the table view, so you guys can let us know whether you like it or not. It's going to be a lower angle. So Zangetsu wins the lag. See, from the other end, that's like the TV view. That's like this view. And I can set it back to that view if you like it, or I can put it to the way it was if you don't. So you let us know.
Yeah, I like this view, the down and above.
So we're going to stick with this match, Steve, until 1:15, and then we're going to move over.
Yeah, this match could be interesting. I mean, I don't know how well Mark Shark plays this game, but I know he's a pretty good player.
Well, I think they're a good match. These pair, it could go the distance. If you try to change the settings, but it keeps going to key bindings instead of...
Yeah, Cheeky Chico, just do a set defaults on the key map, and save it, and then come back in and set it up the way you want.
So Zangetsu on the reds, Mark Shark on the yellows. I don't like this camera, by the way. I prefer the other one.
Yeah, I like it from the other end of the table.
Right, I'll fix that then. Hang on a minute. Settings, cameras. See, I've just got it on down table. Now
Yeah,
it stays like that, and then you hit Control U and you go round.
Yeah, that's the one. Because not only is it the other end of the table, but it's up. The camera's up higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the one that wanted me to put this camera in from the snooker, so I did it, and
Yeah.
I use it all the time now.
See, the only reason I put it down to that lower one is because I was in playing cowboy in the garage this morning, and that bloody lamp above the table encroaches in the short rail at the top end, so you can't see the balls. So I put it in the lower angle this morning. I thought I'll leave it for the stream and see what the guys think, but I don't like it. I prefer this.
Well, this is an interesting rack because it's pretty clustered up, and there's going to be some move in this rack, I think.
Let's do a quick check. See if my little doodle's working.
Yeah, this one red doesn't go anywhere. He's going to have to move that one red, and he just did. And that's not the end of the world there, because this is going to be a hard rack to run out. He's got a pocket blocked, and that's really that kind of miss. He cleared up one problem, and I'll be surprised if Mark Shark can run out here.
I've just remembered, Steve, that that video I said I was watching on YouTube about with the guy that was telling you what settings to set in Discord and what to get rid of. I actually copied and pasted that into my little desktop folder, so I've still got it. So I'll go and do that tomorrow.
Yeah, that was a good little setup. I went and did all that. Well, not surprising he didn't get out. Now the question is what's Zangetsu going to try to do here?
That yellow goes into the side, into the same pocket he's potting this yellow in at the moment, believe it or not.
Yeah, I mean, I almost like a move where hitting that red in behind that yellow and trying to lock him on the other red. He can hit it into the rail behind that yellow. You know what I'm saying? The two reds together, the outside one, hit it past the yellow and put it in front of the corner pocket and just stick them on the other
Just
red.
lock them up, yeah.
Yeah, because, trying to run out, I don't think it was worth it. I think he should have, made the table easier, played for position.
Yeah, it might have been wise to do that. Just wait for maybe a better chance.
See, he could have just lost the game here by doing that, because this situation, Mark Shark could get out.
Now he's got to be careful if he's trying to be cute and go on this yellow behind the 8-ball here, because he could end up hooking himself behind this red.
No, he needs to go up to the side pocket.
Yeah, he's nudged.
That's fine. He can shoot this other one up in the corner, or he can shoot this one here. I think he's wise taking the one by the 8 first. It's got to control this draw. All right, well, that's a little overdone, but
now what does he do? Does he drop this dead weight, or does he try and run around two rails?
Two rails. It's just natural. There's no way you can control the speed dead weight. Take it 2 rails and come back out. Even if you hit the red, as long as you don't hit it on the bottom side, you're fine.
Good evening, semi-pro.
I mean, again, this is what the cue ball naturally wants to do. It's naturally going to want to take a path where it's going to want to run at that red. Now, you can try to go behind it. I mean, this is where you have to try to decide how much of that yellow am I going to take.
He's trying to play it soft.
Yeah, see, I don't like that. See the path it was on? It was going to come right around behind the red, and
yeah, I mean, he's going to
get away with it
that way up and get my line to work.
Well, maybe you won't get away with it.
No, it was going that way.
And I mean that cost him by making that decision and not come back around and shoot at the 8 in the corner.
Well, when you look at that position he was in, and as you said, if you visualize the shot and you're not putting any English in the ball, you're just letting it take its natural path. Your eyes should tell you, if you played the game long enough, where the line of that cue ball is going to go. It's going to go 2 rails and come around.
Yeah, and it's knowing where the natural path is and then extending that path out.
Yeah.
And if you can run on those lines, the game's pretty easy. And this is the difference I see between players that are, what I would call like a weaker A player at the low end, and somebody that's a strong A player or better. And that really relates probably more to pro and champ in VP. But the better players are going to take those multi-rail shots when they present themselves as being a simple solution.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to know where the cue ball wants to go. If you're not sure where the cue ball is going, it's tough to play that kind of shot. You're not sure where it's going. But I mean, the worst case it happens, he hits the red on the bottom and he's still got a shot on the 8, just not the one you want.
So this first rack has taken 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, it was an ugly looking rack.
And it's going to be Zangetsu that takes it out.
I hope I can stay for the whole next match. I got to get out of here about 5. Which would be an hour and 45 minutes. But, we'll see. I mean, I know that Mal plays very fast. I don't know about Albin's a little more deliberate.
Yeah, Albin won't change his pace to accommodate Mal. He'll just keep doing what he does.
Yep.
So, a ball in the break, but a couple of balls have gone. A yellow and a red. And again, the table's slightly ugly in the left-hand side near the 8 ball.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he does here. I mean, at this point, it's looking like it's going to be tough to get out because of that one yellow by the side pocket.
Oh, by the way, Steve, Virtual Pool 4 is not the only pool simulation game, no mentioning names, but it's not the only pool simulation game that's got a problem with blackball. We tested that the other day, or rather Semi-Pro did, and it's exactly the same problem. Now, what's he chose? He's on the reds. Right, now, that red, does it go? That red goes clean, he doesn't need to touch it. Goes down past the 8 ball. So, question is whether Zangetsu is going to get a go at it, because the yellow is way too tight to try and pocket that, I think. I mean, if you try and cheat the pocket with that, you're maybe asking for trouble.
Well, that was the one I had mentioned once upon a time that was going to keep him from getting out, was that ball by the side pocket.
Well, he's tried to get there, and he gave it every chance of going, but unfortunately the pace he's played it at, He's blocked out.
Yeah, and this is pretty much a death knell. I mean, he had to get a shot on that 8-ball.
Now, if
His chance of winning this game is almost nil from this point. I mean, you know,
you never know.
Zangetsu will have to do something stupid.
Give it a bang and hope for the best.
Yeah, well, that's kind of where his chances are down to.
But Zangetsu will take his time. He's deliberate in what he does. But we can take these out. It's a good start.
Yeah, well, he needs to shoot this ball down the rail in the corner. I mean, it's a free shot. The cue ball's going to come out. The 8's hooked. Even if he misses it, he's fine. I will say, though, you know, the better players, and when I say better, I mean guys that can really play, that, you know, have played a lot of other games. You know, you leave them a kick off the rail, and, you know, their chances of kicking it in are better than you think. You watch some of those Filipinos that play a lot of rotation kick at balls, and it's pretty amazing how well they do it. So, you know, ideally you don't want to leave a guy a kick, but if you had to leave him a shot, if you're playing, you know, the table and you left him a kick on that 8-ball, you know, it's not a real high percentage shot.
I don't see where the problem is here for Zangetsu. I mean, he's going to pot the middle red, back up for the red in the top rail, angle to come back out into the middle table for the red into the side. Where's the problem?
He doesn't need to back up at all. He's just going to roll it.
No, he's going to go too straight, I think.
Yeah, that was not wise getting straight. He either needed to go all the way down to the rail or preferably have a little angle. I think he's got enough he can just hit this and draw it out. Yeah, that's what he's going to do.
Oh, he's a little bit cooked.
Watch out. Oh. Wow. That thing's on the brink of death there.
Oh, that could go another 2 inches yet before it drops.
All right. Now, on this red, he needs to hit this firm. He should go to the end rail, all the way back down to this end rail. Well, yeah, I would have played it for the side, but that's probably smart.
He's got the delicate touch.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so used to playing in real life where, you know, you don't want to hit balls like that at any kind of distance. You can't trust them. Right.
That's 2 racks to 0 for Zangetsu. And why is this not moving up? There we go. The Mal and Albinario match is just about to kick off.
Yep, they're going to lag here. They're lagging as I speak.
And I don't know who's who now. Well, Albinario's won the lag. So this is a round 2 match. Same as the other one, it's a round 2 as well. I think it's straight away it's dry.
Yeah, that doesn't do him any favors. I think he'll be taking the yellows, although they're both okay. He's going to want to deal with these 3 balls on this end of the table. Get rid of those balls, extend them from the side pocket. He's perfect on this. He can just roll up. I mean, this is a nice rack to start with. This is just pretty simple.
Well, the one that's a slight problem, I think, is that one. The one just sort of northeast of the red.
Well, he could have shot that. He could have rolled forward and shot that. He would have had to bump the red a little, but the way it was sitting, he could have just bumped the red and then shot the same ball he's shooting, you know.
Mal's using a stub technique.
Mal is being crazy. See, he didn't want to have to be on the wrong side of that yellow and bump the red, but honestly, that the angle he was going to have, it wasn't going to be that difficult to bump that red and still come up with a shot. And, now, this situation, if he makes a boo-boo, he's not getting out.
We've got to check this, I think, to avoid that red. Yeah, well,
he hit it good, and he's on a good straight line on it. So, yeah, I didn't like that one choice, but, he's a good enough player, he got away with it.
Against the break as well.
Well, that hurts for Albin right off the bat, having a dry break and the guy runs out on you.
Cue ball. Well, Albin's response should be immediate here. Perfect opportunity.
Well, he's going to have to take the yellows. I can't see him taking the reds. I mean, this table is definitely a little tougher than the one that Mal had.
Yeah, that two problem reds at either end of the table.
You almost got to think about shooting that one yellow on the rail. I think he can move this cue ball up right in front of the red and shoot that one yellow. Get that thing out of there. If you're not going to shoot it now, you better come up with a plan of getting to it, because it's in a funny spot. It's not the red that's right in front of it that's the biggest problem, as much as the other red and the 8-ball there. Between all those three balls, it makes it tough. He's struggling to try to get in here because the balls are in the way. But, yeah, I mean, if you can figure out a way to shoot that ball, that's definitely the ball you're going to want to shoot.
I think he's at a loss as to where he's going here. I mean,
well, he's got a free shot. Yeah, I'm not sure. See, he didn't use it really.
I don't understand that. I mean, Semi spoke about it often enough, saying that players don't use their free shot to their advantage.
Well, he could have just come out and put the cue ball on the other side and hit that ball that was a problem ball off the rail.
Why didn't he get this yellow out? I mean, he's got to get on it now, which is awkward. Now, is he on it? Let's have a look.
Yeah, I mean, he even if he didn't want to shoot it in the hole, he could have got it out of there. I mean, wow, look at this shot. That's cutting the paint off it.
I mean, I think that if he fails in this and he's nailed in the rail and he's on it now, I think. Is he?
I think he is. The other thing is even if the table's sitting beautiful for you and the balls are all sitting out in the open, take your free shot and bump one of those reds up on another one and lock two of them up. Because just shooting a ball on the table that's easy to run out doesn't gain you anything. So at least lock your opponent's ball up at that point.
Well, he's got to get some sort of good line on this last yellow here, because this 8-ball's limited availability.
Yeah, and that was something he could have done with his free shot too.
Exactly.
Move to 8.
Yeah.
So I think Albin's just showing his blackballing experience.
Well, I don't think he was thinking far enough ahead, to be honest with you, because we can all see that was a problem. But he got to that ball in the rail anyway. But now, of course, the line that he's took, he's got himself in real bad shape in this yellow here.
Yeah, well, now he's screwed.
Yeah.
And this is the thing about 8-ball. I mean, there's not really any place to hide, and I mean, the best thing he can do is try to lock Mal on a red, but then he's going to be kicking because Mal's just going to lock him up again. If there's any way you can make this ball, you got to try to make it. I don't think he can. He tried to play for table position. I don't think that's going to do him a lot of good the way this table's sitting, but we'll see.
Good evening, Matt.
I mean, Mal's going to at least have to make a longer shot here. He's only got one ball. Mal misses this, and he could lose the game.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sammy. Yeah. Well, this is all of a sudden gone awkward because he can't get to any of the two up the table.
But he can just lock them up there. he can just lock him up on the 8-ball or lock him up on behind a red. I mean, that's,
I think he's potting this on the side, but this is...
I would just lock him up. Why take a chance?
No, yes,
that's what he did.
He didn't lock him up tight enough for my liking.
Well, I would have played it the same way, and the reason why is that was absolutely guaranteed. Whereas trying to lock him on the 8, it was sitting funny enough that I probably would have done the same thing in that situation. And this is pretty good. He does not have any kind of good kick the way these balls are sitting.
Yeah, it's an easy kick though from the line I'm looking at. It looks like that he might miss it going that way. Yeah, he's going the other. Well, what a shot that was!
I guess you're right.
Pity I don't have the replay.
It was an easy kick, huh?
I was looking at it from the other way around, but he's got it.
Well, you got to know your opponent, and I don't think Mal figured he kicked that well. I mean, for like a Filipino, that kick shot, is probably at least 50-50. I mean, you say, oh, nobody kicks that good. Well, baloney. For a guy like Efren, it's probably 75% or.
Maybe that's why you called Albinario Albarino in VP4.
Maybe
Albarino the Filipino.
But I mean, I'm not going to say that Mal played the wrong shot because I probably would have done the same thing. But you're right. If he would have locked him up,
he wouldn't have.
He probably would have still had that shot because he was kicking back away from it. But,
the thing is, though, Steve, if he was trying to find the same line with that shot, he was going to be Chinese snookered right over the 8-ball if he had nailed that to the 8. But anyway,
it would have made it tougher. But the other end of it is, and this is what I do after I lose a game like this: is I go back and think about it. And if you think about it, the red that he hit was going on a line where it would have gone and maybe bumped the yellow to the rail, or maybe got behind it and blocked it from the pocket. So maybe he should have just hit that red harder.
See, Mal's fallen into the trap there where he's played a breakout shot, but he's playing him a wee bit too aggressively. You don't need to be as aggressive as that in this table. You'll need to brush them and move, and you've got them into a playable position. And the amount of pace he had in the cue ball, it found the one place it didn't want to go, and this is a gift for Albinario. I think that other red, well, that's tight, but it goes in off the jaw.
When players play snooker, they shouldn't leave one rail's cushion escapes. Well, that's kind of a blanket general statement. I mean, you want to shoot the shot that gives you the best chance to win the game. And, trying to lock a guy up, where they have nothing isn't always the best shot because it might be difficult.
Difficult to execute.
Yeah. Whereas, do you want to take the guaranteed one that's 100% or the difficult one where you may just sell out outright? So it's, there's always a decision about how should I play this? The thing we talked about before with Mal playing was, he was trying to run out every time, and we discussed that if he's going to play like that against better players, he may not win the match.
Exactly.
Because that's a hard way to play, is just get up here and try to run out every wreck.
I don't think he's doing anything wrong as such as trying to improve the situation. I just think he's a bit heavy-handed with some of these shots, and not quite into stub territory, but that first rack that he won, the big draw shot, that could have ended up all over the place, but he got lucky and he got shaped. And that one that he tried to break those balls, too much weight in it, he just needs to tone it down a wee bit.
Yeah, it's wild shots are not usually the right play. I mean, it does come up where you juicing it up like that's the right play, but most of the time it's not.
Yeah, see, Mal's gone down the road of, hit it heavy, I'm bound to have some sort of shock with my balls that are left on the table, and that backfires on you.
Well, he needs to clear his ball now. Well, maybe he's going to wait. I wouldn't wait too long to get that ball out in the corner because, you need an escape ball.
Well, he can play a billiard off that red right now and take the risk. The billiard off the red above the yellow.
He needs an escape ball. I think playing it from, I would rather play it where you not this way. I mean, if you leave that to last like he's doing, you can get in real trouble.
Now he's no shot. He might try it now.
He's still got a shot. I mean, he's actually come out real good on this because he got the red out of there. The problem of coming down and playing it as a combo is he may have not got the red out.
Well, now he's doomed.
Well, no, this isn't that hard a kick shot. I mean, the ball's close to the pocket. I mean, he may make this.
Oh, it was a good effort, though. A good effort.
He hit it good. Well, that's probably going to be another loss.
Oh, Albie's gone. Socket error. You know why that is, Albie? Because you're in the bloody stream. Maybe that you only come in to tell us that. Probably why he did it. I mean, it tells you on the screen that he's disconnected. We've worked that out.
Yeah, we know, Albin.
These Swedish internet connections, they're just as crap as some of the other guys in VP4.
Well, it's amazing how many people have bad ones, although, things have gotten better over time. But a lot of people still won't have reliable broadband. And, all this business going on with Amazon and Elon Musk doing all these low-level satellites because what the heck do you call it? I can't remember the spec, but the spec for the Wi-Fi that was, large coverage areas really has not made it into more rural areas. And there's an awful lot of people that are not going to get broadband till these satellites work.
I can't remember who was it. Who was I talking to? I think it was VP Monster one morning, and he posted a link, and it was a link for a US internet company who are still offering 56k internet at various packages. Yeah. I can't believe it.
There's a lot of people still on DSL, which sucks.
Oh dear!
If you're in rural areas, they don't run fiber optic cable to them. So
yeah.
The satellite thing is what's going to fix that. I mean, that both Amazon's doing it, and Musk is doing it. So you got two companies putting satellites up.
Yeah, that's weird. And you know what's even more weird about it, Steve, is the fact that this internet provider is offering capped deals for DSL. Like whatever it is, megabytes a month or something. And then if you go over that cap, you then start paying more. It's daylight robbery, in my opinion.
Well, Larry, having fiber doesn't mean you won't get any disconnects, but you shouldn't get that many. If you're getting a lot of them, there's other issues.
Yeah, I only have problems in VP4 goes down. I don't have problems getting disconnected. I just have the socket error when we can't connect to the lobby. I mean, I've never had any, annoying disconnects. Scratch my head wondering what it is.
Well, I've had some. I mean, it just depends on your ISP and how reliable they are and stuff, because most of the rest of it, Europe, you get more problems because some of there's some regional areas in Europe that have issues. There's some in the U.S. too. They oversell neighborhoods and stuff like that. But when you get to 100%, you're trying to go through a router. I'm not talking about the one you have at home. I'm talking about your ISPs. They start dropping stuff and you're going to get disconnects. Yeah. So, a lot of it's the reliability of the ISPs, but the backbone of the internet does not have issues, and Rarely does data centers have issues. I've seen them, but very rarely, and it's usually the ISP to the data center, and it doesn't happen that much.
Oh dear, well that's a slam by Albinario.
Well, that's not good.
What happened here?
It re-racked. Did he make the 8?
He must have made the 8, but I'm sure the cue ball disappeared, didn't it? Well, he's got out of jail in that one. I'm surprised at that. Now, did the 8 ball have to go in before the cue ball went on the floor for that to still be a re-rack?
I don't know.
That's got me puzzled.
It might have gone through the pocket. There may still be some holes in these black ball pockets.
Oh, I haven't seen that for a while. Mind you, I haven't played the black ball table
Well, I heard a funny noise like it went through the pocket and hit the floor.
Yeah. Anyway, it's 3-1 to Albinario. Albinario back on his break. Oh, right. Semi-Pro says it doesn't matter. It's a re-rack anyway with the black going down.
The thing about Albin is, this is one of the things I was talking about before. If you can play straight pool, you can play anything. And Albin's become a very good straight pool player. And when you get into this kind of situation where you're trying to run out a table 8 ball, it's really like playing straight pool. I mean, obviously there's other balls that you don't hit and that can block, but as far as just playing patterns and making balls, and the idea that you don't want to juice the ball up, you want to take natural pass, and Albin was dominant in that straight pool championship, so you got to figure that this part of the game he's going to do really well. So far the only thing we've seen him make mistake on was has to do with black ball strategy, which he hasn't played a lot. But I think I said the other day that Mal had an advantage running out, and I think I'm wrong about that. I think maybe even Albin has an advantage the way he learned to play straight pool.
Well, we'll see how he deals with that.
This is tricky.
Red.
So you need to hit this firm enough to get past the yellow. Well, he's just going to roll it. I would have hit that harder and come down the table.
I don't know what he was playing there.
He should have come down and played this red that's along the long rail. I don't know why he hit that so easy.
I think he's trying to use the knuckle, Steve. Hit the second yellow and go in off that yellow. He's looking at it, I think. Yep, he's trying to hit the knuckle and hit the second red, the one behind it, and go in off it.
He needs to put some speed on this if he's going to do that. That's his only chance. It's got to be hit hard.
No, he's gone the other way.
Down the table.
That's not going to hit a rail, is it?
One thought since that ball didn't go was to get on it in the corner it didn't go in and slightly brush the yellow. And maybe it goes in a pocket, but if it doesn't, you hit at a speed where it hangs in that pocket, and then you've got, Mal with 2 balls and an 8 ball in front of a pocket that's blocked.
Well, here we go again. Mal's got him hooked, and Albie's looking for a line to get to this. Now, there is a line there, but it's a narrowish window because of those 2 yellows. If he's going that way, he can't get down the side rail.
No, he's going to have to spin it. I mean, he can get to it, but he's going to have to hit it short of that side pocket and really spin it to open it up. It's a tricky shot, especially jacked up over a ball.
Now, I think he would like to hit the right side of this red if he can, because I don't think he'll leave Mal much. Oh, he's got it again. That's 2 in a row.
Yeah, Mal's going to start shaking his head if he keeps doing that.
Yeah. Well, Albie's certainly done his homework.
Well, he went the other side and shortened it up.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good shot.
4-1 to Zangetsu.
And I'm expecting Albin to make this ball and get out. I mean, just like that. It was really natural shot. Really, all I had to do was make the ball.
Yeah, cue ball's always going to be in play. Well, that's a good escape for Albinario because oh wait a minute, Mal's had enough. Mal's bottling it
Why is he doing that?
because he's had Albinario in two snookers and Albinario's kicked out.
Yeah, well, okay. I'm not really going to be in agreement with that. I mean, we had Sylvia bail out of the tournament the other day.
Some people just don't have the stomach for the fight when it's not going their way, and that's what I disagree with.
Yeah, my attitude is.
Can you imagine Larry doing that? Can you imagine Larry saying, he doesn't, he's not up for it.
I'm like never say die. I don't care if it's hill zero. I'm gonna try to come back and win. And I mean, sometimes that happens. I remember I won a tournament at Hard Times, the Sunday tournament, where I lost my first match. I had to win it was like 12 or 13 matches through the loser side to win the tournament. I played terrible my first match. Lost, felt like going home, but I didn't. But, I mean, it is what it is.
Right, let's just talk about the spelling of these guys in the chat. Larry spelt weird W-I-E, and Matt spelt weird W-I-E. Now, is Matt copying Larry, or do the both of them think that's how you spell weird?
That's the weird way to spell weird.
Yep, I just don't know what. Well, I don't want to type Mal bottled it, but Mal bottled it. That's what happened. Yeah, Mal was on the wrong end of some quality play by Albinario when Albinario was putting a couple of snookers was it consecutive racks? I don't know whether it was consecutive racks, but anyway, to cut a long story short, for you guys that don't know, Albinario managed to kick out of both of them, and not only that, pot the ball that he was on. And after the second one, Mal decided it's 4-1 and I've had enough. See you later.
Yeah.
But
that's a shame because I thought Mal was one of the favorites to win this thing.
Yeah, there's no way on earth would I ever have that against my name, quitting. I just don't have any respect for anybody that quits just because things aren't going well for them at the time. You never know what can happen in this bloody game. That's the thing. You never know.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of the best lessons I ever got was, I was gambling some, when I was younger, trying to learn how to play, and all my friends told me you got to gamble more, and I wasn't really enjoying it, and I was losing a lot, and we played a lot by the rack. Then I'd get down 8 games or so, and I'd quit. I'd like, oh, that's it, I'm quitting. So one day I walked in the pool room with $1,000 in my pocket, asked this guy to play for 50 a rack, and I said to myself up front, I am not quitting. I'll lose a whole 1,000, 20 games down, which I then proceeded to do. I played not very well, and I never got going, but I learned something, and what I learned was when I made that commitment, I never had to think about, should I pull up, should I do this, should I do that? So that really helped me. I really improved after that because I wasn't ever thinking about, should I stop playing? Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm down this much, should I quit? And I'm not saying you should just always lose all your money, but it was an important lesson for me that being committed and not having to think about, should I quit, got rid of that distraction, and I played better.
Yeah, you've got to be in it for the long haul.
Yeah. So now, like when I play, people tend to play sets now, but I won't play one set and quit. There's just no way. If I play, I'm playing a minimum of 2 sets. If I'm playing for 500 a set, I'm gonna lose $1,000 because I'm not quitting after one.
Yeah, race to 13, 4-1 down's nothing. I mean, look at that match with
Oh no, he was still
Tommy.
well in it.
The Tommy Cobra match. Okay, it finished a bit awkward, but Tommy was well back in it. He was only trailing by 2, and he was trailing by 4 a couple of times. And you just never give up. You just got to stay in it. Things can happen. Bad roll of the ball. You start getting good rolls of the ball. Anything can happen.
I think you gotta stay away from feeling like the whole world's against you, because sometimes I feel like the whole world's against me, God's against me, everything's not going wrong, and you got to try to stay away from that kind of thought train because it's not a good place to be.
Nope. And the other thing is when you jump in and make a decision like that too soon, in fact, to me, there's no upper but, there's no decision. You play it out, and that's it. And if you get well beat, you get well beat by the better player. You say good game, and you go into the one loss side.
There's
And
harder things to stomach than your opponent playing good. How about
yeah,
like you get down, you play a great match, come down hill, and you dog it to lose.
yeah.
How
Well,
about that? And
well,
I've done that before, and it cost me a lot of money. And you wanna feel crappy about yourself. Do that a few times to see what it feels like. I mean, there's worse things than just having your opponent get lucky a couple times.
yeah. Well, I never thought I'd see Mal doing something like that just because he's getting beat. Because that's simply what it was about. I mean, they didn't say, I've got to rush to hospital, I've got to do something. That was it. He's had enough. And it was only because he's played 2 snookers and Albie's got out of them. Where do you think you've been done an injustice? You've been done no injustice. The guy's worked out the shot, played the shot, and got the ball.
Yeah, I mean, the guy played the shot. Maybe it wasn't high percentage, but he hit it good, and it happened to go in. So okay, things went his way a little. I mean, there were low percentage shots that went his way, but you got to give him credit for hitting it good. It's not like you can hit that shot bad and have it go in. It's not like he hit it and the ball went 3 or 4 rails and went in the pocket. I mean, he kicked them in where he's trying to.
Well, I'm gonna lay my neck in the line here, Matt, and say that you're not going to see Mal in the rest of this tournament. That's him had enough. His fingers burnt, and he's more than good enough to survive the one loss side, but he doesn't want to meet this guy again, or that guy, Albinario, wherever he's gone.
Well, Alvin's going to be tough in this because he just looking at how he runs balls. And Alvin's a thoughtful player, and I'm sure he's going to learn how to play black ball better. And I think if he learns the black ball rules better, he's probably pretty close to where Semi is. I mean, I'm not sure that Semi would be a favorite over Albin once Albin learns the strategy better, because Albin can really has great pattern play and runs out well.
Well, what have we got here? 4-2 to Zangetsu. Zangetsu on the yellows.
Well, it's good to see Mark Shark hanging in there. I mean, I think he's got a chance. He just, again, I think it's one of those strategy things because I think Mark Shark runs balls well enough to win this match. He's just got to, play better black ball strategy. So if I'm him here, I'm shooting that yellow by the corner, coming behind this one red and bumping the other red, and then shooting that next red in the pocket, because I would want to deal with those 2 reds down there fairly fast because of the blocking yellow ball.
Yeah, and he can't do that at the moment, but it's...
Well, he could have done it last shot. That may have been the best thing for him to have that happen. The question is can Zanguest do get to all these balls? I mean, the one yellow is not easy. It doesn't go in either upper corner pocket. Obviously,
Right.
this lower one's blocked, so it's got to go in the side pocket or the corner his yellow's hanging in.
Well,
And then he's still got 2 balls on the rail. So
I'm looking
this
shot he's got here, Steve. He cuts this yellow over the other one, and he obviously hopes that this yellow he's playing stays over the hole. He might get. I think he's tried for a hit in that yellow there. He's tried to get lucky.
Well, that's rough. I mean, and this is a tricky shot trying to get on it anywhere else. I mean, I almost would have banked that one yellow because then he bumps the one he shot towards the pocket. He might have been, guys just never want to shoot banks in this game, but those side pockets, that was an easy bank on that ball in the side pocket.
Well, he's going to.
See, this is tough.
He's going to have to stun this, and I don't know where he's going to play this yellow. It's blocked up in the 2 top pockets.
Yeah, this is tough. I mean, he's got to hit that second red. That's what he really needs to do, is bump that second red and hope it rolls up good, because I just do not see. He couldn't hit the first one. The first one was no good. Well, he's got a bank shot, and I'll tell you what, this shot isn't that hard. This is almost a dead bank. What I mean by a dead bank is you hit it just slightly on the left of it.
Yeah, to make the angle.
And maybe just a touch inside. That's what they call a dead bank. See, you have to hit that. He needed to hit that a little on the left side of it with a little bit of inside, and then you fire it. And you guys that don't play banks won't know this, but a dead bank isn't a straight in bank. A dead bank is you got that little angle, and good bank players will make that bank like it's almost 100% shot. They call it a dead bank because the aiming and the English and stuff, it makes the target big. And I'm not going to explain exactly why, but it makes a shot easy. And if you look at who's the bank pool guy? There's a great book. I've got the book. God, what's the guy's name? Beard. James Beard. There's a book called, I think it's called Banking with the Beard or something like that. But if you want to learn how to bank, read that book.
That's the only thing that's going to scupper this rack here is where the 8 ball's sitting. I mean, it is available, but it's just a wee bit awkward.
You got all these guys that have played virtual pool for years and years and years, and there's probably not a single one that knows that. Maybe Hairpig, since he seems to be a real student of the game. But that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of things that everybody here playing could get better on if they learned what to do. You learn how to hit that bank shot and practice it some, and then all of a sudden it's like almost automatic.
Well,
this is not really where you want to be. I think you got to make this. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I'm not sure how you're going to protect the cue ball. I mean, he could have tried to take the cue ball up table. This is you got to decide where you're going to go with the cue ball here. I'd probably go 2 rails and behind it and shoot the 8 ball in the same corner he's shooting this yellow in, because I think that's the most natural path. He may try to hold this up. I guess he's playing for the side pocket.
Just again, dead weight.
Yeah, I mean,
if he touches that first knuckle, it ain't good in.
But this is not that hard a shot. I mean, if you understand the pocket, it's not that hard a shot.
So 5-2. Back to Mark Shark's break.
Yeah, that was, Mark Shark is not taking good enough advantage of the opportunities he's getting, and that's why he's behind. But he's by no means out of this match.
Now, does he want to just nudge down onto that yellow? Has he got the angle to play it? No, I think he's too straight. But see that? If he's taking the reds, I thought he might be able to just draw back into that yellow, but then it might lock up these other reds. But this is the problem, red, if he's going to take reds.
I think they're both fine. Which word's a problem where all the reds go?
Yeah, but that one there in the middle of the table behind the yellow.
Yeah, but the good thing about that one is this other red, the second red up from the bottom there towards the side rail. That red gives you easy way to get on that.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what you got to think about is how am I going to get to that? Well, if you got a red that you can shoot a stop shot on or just roll it, then that's.
Well,
he's going to hit this, and now he's going to go at this one red down in the corner, and then he's going to shoot the stop shot on that other one, and then shoot that ball that's a problem.
Yep, that's it. That's a pattern.
And it's interesting with Mark Shark because that was a mistake.
That was too much juice again. He didn't maybe too much angle, but he just overhit it.
I think he was trying to get too perfect because I didn't think he needed to do that. I think he could have just stopped it. The angle would have been maybe a touch funny, but I mean, you got, when you have a shot, you have to make a decision of, am I just going to take the simplest thing, which is to stop it and then accept what's there, deal with that, or am I going to try to get more perfect? And there's nothing wrong with getting more perfect if it's easy to do, but if it's like, 3 out of 4 I get perfect, and one time I'm shitty like he was, versus, I've got this other way, it's 100%, and it's a little awkward, but it can be dealt with.
Now,
you got to weigh those two.
Now, I can see where Zangetsu is coming from when that cue ball was left on his awkward yellow there. He decided he had the opportunity to take it. I think that might be a bit of a mistake because while that yellow was there, it left that last red awkward for Mark Shark.
Well, let's see if he tries to make his red on this. This is not easy, but I think he may try to make his red here.
You can stun it up.
It's that, or yeah, that's what he tried. He tried to stun it up. It was either that or you play position on the yellow in the side where you can stun it up, which might have been an easier shot. Looking at it, it might have been better to just get on that yellow on the side with a little angle and stun it up, because that was a tough shot he just tried to hit.
Well, Swedes are like double-decker buses. You see none for an hour and then 2 come along at the one time. Good evening to Bedhead. Good evening to Albie.
Yeah, well, good evening, Alvin.
Well, what do you think? What do you think's up with Mal then, Albinario? Was you upsetting him before the match?
Albin was talking crap, probably.
Yeah, Mal didn't have the stomach for the fight. I don't care what he says. That's what it looks like to me. I see it as I see it, and if he doesn't like it, then tough. I mean, if he tells me his granny's been rushed to hospital, I'll have to accept it, but then, that's not what it looked like.
Well, this is getting to be a must-win for Mark Shark, because he's had opportunities every rack to win, and he's not doing it. So you got to accept the fact that you're going to bump the yellow here. I would be shooting this ball in the corner right now. Well, you know what? With the 8-ball sitting, this isn't a bad shot. I take that back, because he can just shoot the red, bump the yellow, and he's perfect on the 8 and the side. I was didn't look at that. This is actually really good here. Now, the mistake you don't want to make is hooking yourself on the yellow. Okay, and he didn't even have to bump it. That's good.
Right. Again, to repeat myself for those that have already heard it, and for these guys that have just arrived, Albinario was playing Mal. Mal had put Albinario into a snooker in one of the racks, and Albinario looked at the line, hit the rail, hit the ball, pocketed the ball. So that's him out of one snooker. And then in the last rack, or the fifth rack, Albinario was put in a snooker again, and Albinario duly dealt with it again. He kicked it in. He kicked the ball in. As soon as the second kick on that snooker went in, Mal's guts got up and walked away, and he walked out, and that was it. Couldn't suffer the humiliation. His mind, the little voice in his head was telling him 11-1 or 13-1, and he didn't want that against his name. But now he's got humiliation in his name from bottling it.
Well, that was a little unexpected, but I mean, even if you stay in and play, if you're gonna get depressed or let things bother you, it's gonna affect your play. And I can tell you my personal experience in real life is that I've always had trouble controlling my emotions, and I know that when I control my emotions, I can play pool with anybody. And it's always been a constant battle for me, but I recognize that you've got to not start feeling bad about things, and for the most part, I don't believe you start feeling good about things. You start getting really happy during a match, that opens you up to getting really sad when you screw up. It's better just to emotionally not react to things.
So how many cues have you snapped in your lifetime, Steve?
Never. I've never snapped a cue. Now, I might have broken a golf club, but never. Oh, I was in a pool room. I was playing a guy, and I beat this guy, and he takes his cue and he throws it against the wall. I mean, throws it hard against the wall. I couldn't believe it. I was like, really?
And some of these cues are
that was a foul, I think. Yep.
A good few $100 or a few grand.
Oh God, I'm playing with basically it's a modified Sneaky Pete, but it was $700 or $800 for a Sneaky Pete. Plus, I've got a Revo shaft on it, which is another $500. I mean, it's not even an expensive cue.
Right, I'll put the question to Steve for you guys. So Mal's quit the match. He didn't just bail out. Is he due for a fine?
That's an interesting question because, that was designed for quitting at the end of the match, which that isn't. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you guys realize this or not, but if you don't, you're going to learn something. Virtual pool is set up so that it will not compute ratings if you quit early in the match like that. In other words, it's like the match was never played. Obviously, in the tournament, he's going to go through. But I think there's a big difference between quitting on the last game or last shot versus, what Mal did. I would be hesitant to give a fine for that.
Yeah, but I've seen the streams. I've seen guys, conceding the match because the player's on the 9-ball. That's not doing anything weird. I've seen that happen in the streams. The player's dead on the 9-ball and they'll just concede the rack instead of the guy potting the 9-ball.
Yeah, but it's better not to see a F. The score was this to F. I mean, I'd rather not see people because when you just quit out, okay, then there's the disconnect, which Stubbs' favorite trick. But even just quitting out, you're going to get a forfeit, and it's not like in real life. Like in real life, when you see somebody concede the match when the guy's on the last ball, it doesn't affect anything. But in virtual pool, it does, because the score is not going to be up there, right? And you know, it's a little bit different.
Well, the bank's on for the 8 ball. All or nothing for 5-4.
Besides, if I don't find them, Stubb will have a fit. So that's another good reason.
Well, he was close, but no cigar.
Stubb will say, "Well, you're not being fair. Everybody hates me. You're all against me."
Well, I mean, again, you know, Stubb does it just to be annoying right at the end of a match, and it does cause players to sit there like numpties waiting the thing timing out. You know.
Well, that's 2 games where Mark Shark got to the 8 ball and didn't make it, and at least 2, and you know that
it's going to cost him.
Well, 2 games is a 4-game swing. That's the thing, is when it comes down to that, it's like you went from you were going to win to you just lost. I mean, Zangistu's going to run this out, and those 2-game swings are devastating. I mean, it's not 1 game; it's 2 games when you do that. I mean, if you screw up early in the rack, well, you know the guy's still got to do something. I mean, unless it's an easy table, he may have to work for it. But when you do what just happened there, it's a 2-game swing.
Well, I was right in my prediction, which I said Mal's not going to win this tournament. I didn't think it would end that sort of way, though.
Yeah, well, you know, you've got you still got Semi, who we've seen him go goofy before. I think he's by far the favorite if he doesn't go goofy.
Albie's got Semi's card marked.
And I'm not trying to, like, you know, degrade Semi or anything. Trust me, I'll be the first to admit that I've gone goofy a lot in playing pool. It's not a good feeling when that happens.
Well, Mark Shark has got to make a move before this starts to get to the stage where he's relying on Zangetsu doing him a few favours. Semi's not listening.
Well, you know, I like that he has a sense of humor. That's good. And you know, you need that in this game. And this game will drive you crazy if you don't.
I like to push buttons now and again.
He's got to take reds. I think that was a wise move. Yellows were terrible. Not that, you know, this is a good table. I'd be thinking table position now, not run out.
This is slightly ugly.
I'd probably hit the reds next to each other and park that 1 red. It'll go right in front of the pocket. It'll hit the end rail.
That would be my shot.
Just park it right in front of the pocket. See, he's doing that. I'm going to run balls, which I will say this, okay? If you're good enough to run this table out and do it, you know, if you said I'm going to run this table out 75% of the time, that's probably good enough to do it. But looking at this table, I don't think Mark Shark plays good enough to run this table out 75% of the time. I mean, it's not an easy table. So you got to kind of look at the strategy and go, well, you know.
Well, here's a mistake coming here, Steve. Unless I think he's just going to bump it off the rail. Maybe he's going to think now and play safe. But if he pots this red, he's doomed. He's going to have no shot.
Well, he could roll forward and shoot this other one. That's what he's trying to do, but he didn't do it right. He needed to roll forward and get straight on that other ball.
No. Well, those 2 reds are actually a combo. I never even looked at that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, to bump the 1 up. The way he was before, he probably would have bumped it and hit the rail. He should lock him on the yellow. Wow. See, he didn't lock him on the yellow. The play there was to lock him on the yellow and hopefully get one of those reds down to the other end of the table, so it was going to be hard to play easy safeties. The problem with having all 3 balls on one end of the table is it makes it too easy to play safe. So if you guys, a little bit about 8-ball strategy, if you get in a situation where, you know, you're in trouble and you had 3 balls left, ideally you would want to put one of your balls at the other end of the table. Because now he can just like kick behind these or come off this other one.
Yeah, just bank the yellow and drop behind the red, the yellows from the 8 ball.
Yeah, there's nothing down at this end of the table to help save you when all your balls are sitting in one end.
But I still, going back to that first time he was on that red down the rail with the other red next to the yellows, that's where he should have locked him up.
See, what he doesn't like here is he's looking at playing off this ball, and the problem is that the cue ball will want to run at a line towards that corner pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, you know, and he recognized that, and he played away from it. And that's a, you know, really a poor safe, but with all these balls at the other end of the table. So what Mark Shark needs to do is he needs to get a ball down to this end of the table.
He's looking at the combo.
Yeah, I don't think that's any good. I would knock that one red that's wide open down to this other end of the table and put the cue ball in the end rail. He did everything but get it down to the other end of the table. And he's opened up the balls where, you know, Zangestu, you know, his only problem is those 2 yellows stuck together. And I think the smart play here is make this one yellow in the side and then go up and bump that top yellow and put him on the other one and separate those balls so that his problems are gone.
Yeah. I mean, this seems obvious. You saying that. Looking at the table, Steve, you would think that Zangetsu is going to see that.
Now, I will say that this is a little risky shooting this ball, and if you don't like to do that, there's some other options. All right, and he's not really in a great spot, but he's still. I would be looking to separate these.
Yep.
I'd hit the first one thin with a lot of right English, come off the end rail, and tuck it back behind him. He's not going to do that. He's going to play a shot that I think is going to end up leaving a shot.
Well, I wouldn't have played it like that. Maybe
he needed to hit it thin with right English so he could tuck back around behind that yellow and 8. And he's playing the shot that is easy and is safe and he knows he can hit, but it's not the right shot. And he could lose the game because of that. I'm not sure what he was doing there. He may have just been playing for table position. If he was, that was a pretty damn good shot.
Well, that'll do. It keeps him in it. And this is not quite as easy to find cover.
Well, because he's pinned on this ball. Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty good shot. So what I'd be looking at doing here is I'd be looking at separating these balls and taking the cue ball up table and trying to put them behind that yellow and 8 again. So you would have to hit this with a
little punch with right-hand English.
Yep.
A little jabby
off
punch.
The rail and go up table. Now, is it an easy shot? No. It's easy to get up table, but, I mean, he's in trouble here. See, that's no good. He just gave up the table.
Yep, that was a shot. A little feather of right-hand English, but a little stunning shot just to get the fizz working off the rail and punch it up there.
Well, sometimes, you know, that was a very difficult shot, the shot we're talking about. But sometimes that is the shot. I mean, so he shot an easy shot. Well, that easy shot's a sellout shot. Mm-hmm. Shoot the hard shot, and maybe you still sell out if you don't execute it well, but at least you've got a chance.
Well, it's not a sellout yet because Mark Shark's got to get on this 8 ball where he's easy to get on the last red where it's easy to get on that 8 ball, and it looks easy, but
he just needs to tug this around the corner. You got to tug it deep into the corner there. And it'll come around and miss the yellow and come right out. I mean, you could hit this with inside and try to bump the yellow that's out on the middle of the table. As long as you're on the left side of it, you're fine. So he's really got a couple choices. He decided to shoot that, which I don't think was a bad choice, but he missed the ball. I mean, I don't think that was a terrible choice to shoot that one either.
Well, Zangetsu, I don't know whether, looking at that yellow, I don't think you can pot that and hold for this. But he's
Van
maybe going to go
Getsu's
around two. He's going 2 rails maybe behind it.
He's living a charmed life right now. For him to get out of that, because he made a terrible mistake, and it looks like he's gonna get away with it.
Well, I think he's underhit that. He might have been trying to get in the one above the yellow.
No, he's fine. Just shoot this in the side pocket and go down and shoot the one down towards the end rail. Just roll the one in the side pocket. I mean, obviously he's going to have to come back down and get this ball. Shooting it here it's real tight on the scratch if you try to shoot that now. Now, I'm not sure why he didn't roll down and shoot the ball up there, because I'm not sure what good it does him to get here.
Well, if he was shallower on this yellow, he could bump it in and spin behind the 8 ball and get onto that yellow. Yeah, well, that's it now, I would say. Mark Sharks should see this home.
Yeah, that wasn't a very good pattern choice there. I mean, he could have got on the one trouble yellow on that shot by drawing it and going 2 rails behind it. But, I mean, it was, that's not an easy shot, but he had it.
Well, the bonus is the 2 of them, and where's the cue ball going?
Watch out!
Disaster. Oh dear.
Yeah.
And
Mark Shark is just finding every way to not get out.
That's 3 in a row, Steve, I think.
Well, he's going to have to kick this in. I mean, you're still alive. Where's Albin when you need him? Sub Albin. Yeah, and these kick shots are a little tricky to measure when, you're at the half table and the ball's close to the full table. This is visually, this is a difficult shot. What's he doing here? I'm not sure what he's doing.
It looks as if he's going wider to me.
I don't know what this is all about. There you go. Okay, so yeah, this is a tough shot. I think, even for somebody that kicks good, that was not that easy a kick shot.
Well, these racks are leaking away here. That's 3 times he's been to the 8 ball and, well, can't get there. And it looks so easy. I think the worst thing that happened there was the second red going in. Had the second red stayed there, he'd have been much easier. He still could have hooked himself, but...
Yeah. Well, in those situations, you've got to play position on that 8 ball because, there's a chance that it is going to go in.
Yeah.
And he probably was. You probably just overhit it. I mean, everything was fine until that last quarter turn of the cue ball.
I just drop this in. Shouldn't be any problem.
Between some mistakes of not getting out, and then he's been a little stink bit. I mean, Mark Shark. This match should be tied, not 7-3.
Yeah, and that's against the break again as well.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Mark Shark's luck's going to change. But I don't think it's all to do with bad luck. It's just maybe the wrong choice here and there.
Zangestu understands this game pretty well. And, his pattern play is decent. And, he moves the cue ball okay.
Mark said he should have quit it 4-1.
That's good. But I think what Zangestu needs to do is when he gets in these situations, he needs to shoot the shot that's required, not the shot that's easiest for him. Mm-hmm. He needs to look at it and shoot the shot that's really required. And I think if he starts doing that, he's going to be a threat to beat anybody in this tournament.
Well, to me, that's one of the most fundamental things in any game. What you said there, you have to play the right shot. you can't bottle out what your mind is telling you is the right shot and take the easy option. You've got to bite the bullet, and you'll find that you'll be a lot more successful doing it than you will failing.
Yeah, well, it's what we call in pool. We call it cinching the shot.
Yeah.
So you play the shot in a way where you're hitting the cue ball in a way where you're sure you're going to make the ball. You're sure you're going to hit the ball. Not playing the shot in a way that this is going to be really successful. I'm not saying you should never cinch balls, because situations come up where it's better to cinch the ball and leave yourself a tough next shot or something, just situationally. But in the kind of situations he was in with some of those safeties, is he played, very mediocre safeties because he didn't really shoot the shot that was going to get him a good lockup.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason he won the games was because, Mark Shark ended up giving it back to him.
Well, this is.
But that's not going to happen with semi-pro or Albin or one of those guys.
This is not looking good at the moment. We've got the red and yellow tied up in the bottom rail.
Yeah, but that goes. So if you can figure out a way to get into that yellow, that red does go. So now the question is, see, he's got a real opportunity here to play table position, because he can put the cue ball down here on the rail where there's no shot other than a combination. And he could maybe knock one of these reds down table. He could do it right now. He could put the cue ball over near the corner pocket, take that red and go 2 or 3 rails and put it down table where he's got, a ball down there that will help him, get on that potential combination for that yellow to the red, or get a ball down there to help him break it out. See, like this is tough. He's got to go around the one yellow and just nip this other yellow and bump it off the rail. That's the only shot here. Anything else is probably going to be a fail. Yeah, and he didn't get enough top on it to loop it around. I mean, that was, it's a tough situation. So, I mean, that's.
Well, I think
that's probably going to end up being a loser.
Well, you see, he's hit that soft. Maybe he wanted to hit that a wee bit firmer just to loosen that red and actually have a shot to cut that red.
Yeah, I mean,
he's playing the safety shot there to make sure that there's a yellow still tied up. He's trying to bide his time.
The problem he's down to 1 ball to help break that out now, and Zangestu has 4 balls to break it out, and so it's a big favor to Zangestu at this point in this rack. And you don't have to shoot this. He didn't have to shoot that ball. I mean, that's the thing, is guys always are shooting balls when, sometimes the best play is just position a ball for a breakout, move balls around the table, get yourself in a better situation. Because right now, what's Zangestu going to do to get this ball out? I mean, there's no.
Well, it doesn't.
From where he is, there's no simple way to get to it.
He's reluctant, I think, to take this yellow into the corner. But he's been forced into doing it, or he's going to skim the other one of the 2 and run up table.
That's probably a smarter play at this point. I mean, there is a shot there where he could get out, but.
Well, I think he tried to play a billiard there into the side. It looks like it. But I mean, there's no harm done. Other than that, he's still got a ball locked up.
The good news is he's got a ball by that side pocket, which prevents Mark Shark from kicking behind at this red. He's got balls up table. I mean, this is why you want balls up table, is because he can't kick at that red and get safe.
Well,
that was a pretty good idea.
It was a good idea. The only thing I think that he didn't want was the ball going in. But
no, he did not want that ball to go in. So now he's pretty screwed here.
Well, this is going to be gentle.
And try to get lucky.
No, this is just a gentle one. He's just going to He's just going to wait and hope he gets a shot.
Well, he's got balls in position. He can break that thing out. This yellow by the corner pocket is sitting, really good to break that out. And, you're probably going to make the red, which is fine because you made your own ball. So he's just got to decide how he can get the right angle on that ball. And he just needs a little bit of angle back to the right.
No, he's got to get far enough. He's cutting this in, so the cue ball's sort of going. It looks as if it's going that way. So if he was playing from here,
no, this is going at a good angle. Oh, he went that way.
Well,
why are you shooting aside? See, that's a mistake, and the reason why is that you wanted to leave a ball in case you get in trouble on the breakout. Now. Well, the problem with doing this is if he doesn't get a shot when he breaks it out, he's screwed because he doesn't have an escape ball like the one, he's shooting his escape ball that he would have had. And he got too much angle on it.
Can't get it. I mean, to me, the shot he had there into the side, let the cue ball run, was a far better shot to get the cue ball in a better line. He's trying to pinch a bit there.
He tried to do the impossible. I mean, he's a good enough player. As you know, he's not going to be able to get into those balls. And see, now Mark Shark can kick at this. He doesn't have a very good angle. Yeah, I didn't like that play. I would have, because he's going to get locked up now.
Well, if I was Zangetsu, I'd be sending that yellow up the table.
Well, I would be putting it probably over here on the side rail, near this pocket on the side rail, because that's a spot you can break out, and it also protects you from getting kicked behind.
Yeah,
the problem with putting this ball up table right now is then you don't have a breakout ball.
Well, he's put the one ball that was locked up the table. That's not what I was thinking, but that's again not a bad move because Mark Sharp's got nothing but.
It's not, and I didn't think of that, but I like that play. I mean, this is a tough situation for Mark Shark. Yeah, that was a really smart play there.
Yeah,
I just learned something. I'm so used to playing bar table 8-ball where long rail banks are just a cinch. Although, he'd got that yellow up where maybe it was blocking the bank anyways.
Well, this is only going to go wrong if Zangetsu doesn't get the cue ball in the open. He's just looking at the gap that he's going into to make sure he's coming back far enough.
Yeah, this shouldn't be a problem. If you do think that's a problem, go to the other side of it or do that. Zangetsu, he understands the strategy of this game really well. He doesn't always play the right shot, but he understands the strategy well. He's just got to get a little bit more aggressive on some of these shots he's playing.
Let's just say he's work in progress, and if he played it a lot more, he would get better, as everybody would. He's doing the one thing that's important, regardless of how you get there. He's adding racks to the scoreboard more than what Mark Shark is, and it's just about getting through that matters.
But yes and no, because when you get a match against a guy that you're going to beat, that you can look at it like, oh, well, I'm going to play different because this guy can't beat me. Or you can look at it like, I'm going to play the exact same way I would if I was playing a guy that was the best player in the tournament. And I like the latter because it teaches you to play the right way all the time and take the right shots all the time. And, as soon as you start, I'm not saying you shouldn't ever adjust your strategy for somebody, but you shouldn't just relax and start blasting balls around or do whatever, because he's going to have to play better than this when he plays semi or Albin. I can tell you that right now. He could not beat those guys with the game that he's playing right now.
Yeah.
And ultimately, you know, when you get in a match against one of those guys, you know, you can look at it a couple ways. You can say, well, I'm going to make a good showing and I'm not going to lose 13-1. Or you can say, well, I want to have a chance to beat this guy.
Well, Zangetsu has chosen the reds.
Yeah, and he's funny. This is a little tricky. I might shoot the one up table into the corner. The one right next to the cue ball, go up table in the corner, because he's dead straight in on this, which isn't good. And I'm not sure why he's shooting it. What's he know that I don't?
Well, that's neither
he's
here
trying
nor
to
there.
play
He's
for the
got one
side
inside
pocket. Well, yeah.
What?
I would have shot the other one up table so I could get some angle and then come out and shot these in the corner.
Well, I'm thinking ahead. You know, as you're leaving this red here as the last one to go on that 8-ball, because it's a very narrow window to go on the 8-ball anyway. Having said that, he's missed the one into the side.
Well, the having that yellow there that the cue ball's next to really makes that 8 a lot tougher. If that yellow's gone, it's not so bad because you can just come over to this long rail.
Mark's running and hiding, I think, behind this 8-ball, trying to get the touch right.
Yeah, and that's well played. Now that's more like what you need to be doing because he just solved his problem there, and yeah, that's more like it. He could even get a free ball out of this. This is locked up pretty good.
Well, again, if he's thinking ahead and he does get a free shot out of this, he's got to make it. He's got to make it count.
All right, well, he didn't foul.
Yeah, because it was a full snooker.
So now the question is can Mark Shark take advantage and win this game?
Well, that yellow is... you look at it there, it goes in off the jaw.
Oh, yeah, it goes in. It's not quite as tight as it looks, but it's, you know, it's not one that you're going to be wanting to shoot from distance.
Well, I think even at this distance, I think I'd be taking it now just for the sake of getting rid of it.
Yeah, well, he's on a straight enough line he might be able to
maybe off of this one. Maybe off this one. Well, that's as good as you're going to get in that. You've got to get it now.
That's pretty darn straight. You know, the key here is aiming the yellow for the part of the pocket you want, which he did well. So it's looking like Mark Shark's going to get another game under his belt here.
Yeah, you might have spoke too soon there, Steve. I would have waited to this second last ball.
I'm not going to commentator person.
He's going to have to stop this a little bit. He doesn't want to let this leap forward and be awkward.
You want to go a little forward because you want an angle on this.
That's
yep.
He's a bit straight.
He's a bit straight, but he's okay.
Good evening to Simax.
If he comes straight back, it's still going to hit the long rail.
That will do it.
All right. Well, I'm glad to see him, Mark Shark, get a game there because things have not gone his way. And it hasn't all been his fault. I mean, there's been a couple things that were a little rough.
Break back to Zangetsu. Rack number 13. Thought about scratching there, so he did. Yes, he did. Yeah. You're gonna have to ask somebody who's a bit more diplomatic than me to explain it to you. They'll probably explain it to you better than I do. But yes, he did.
Well, this is interesting. I think he makes this ball, he's probably going to get out, or he should. These shots are hard for some people.
Well, I hate them because see, even in that table there, right onto that. I mean, he hit it in the inside of the rail, right on the joint where the cushion joins with the woodwork, and it still didn't go in.
Well,
You know?
that was actually missed by quite a bit. I'll tell you the secret to that shot is you got to focus on the line from the pocket side of the cue ball. You've got to look at the pocket side, not the pocket side, the pocket side of the object ball. You've got to look at, the point on the object ball that goes straight to the pocket on the far side of it. You start looking at the front of the object ball, and it's just not going to look right when they're that close. You've got to look at the other side of the ball and judge it from there.
Well, let's just correct it, Simanx. He conceded the match rather than just quitting and running. He said, good game, that was it, he'd had enough. In his defence...
Well, Pop Man, I'm not going to argue with Pop Man. I agree. The yellows were better.
Yeah, he's got an easy combo there. And now he's just, again, playing for position.
But now they're not better. And that was a smart thing to do because he couldn't run out, and he left plenty of his balls on the table.
Zangetsu's got a wee bit to think about here. He might think of locking that red up the side rail, making it tougher. But then again, that doesn't advance the game very much doing that.
Well, one thing I don't like about these rules with the way they do the stalemate on this is, see, he could play for stalemate right here if he didn't like the game.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm talking about Mark Shark, because all you have to do is to play for stalemate is, let's say that Zangestu bumped his ball and there was now that red was completely blocked. Okay. So it's not a stalemate yet because there's other reds on the table you could use to break it out. But let's say Mark Shark didn't like the game. He could just make his reds and leave it so he had no shot on that one red that was blocked and say it's a stalemate. Mm-hmm. And that's what's wrong with those rules, is that you can take advantage of the fact that you can create the stalemate for yourself. And I just, I don't think the way they do that is really that great a rule. But it exists in all forms of 8-ball because 8-ball does not have 3-foul rules. In any variation of 8-ball that's played, there's no such thing as 3-foul. So in all 8-ball rules, there's some sort of stalemate, and it's really kind of a hole in the rules. It's really not a great way to resolve that situation.
Well, I don't think Zangetsu's in any great shape here at all. And what can he do to keep Mark Sharp down in this rack?
He needs to separate these balls, which is what he just did. So now he's got a chance to deal with the red. The problem is he just,
Well, now we're at the stalemate situation. This is heading that direction.
Well, only if Mark Shark wants. He can shoot this ball down the rail. He's got that red out there that he can clear his balls. And this is what I'm talking about. Mark Shark can just say, well, I'm just going to play for stalemate. Now, the only problem there is he's got to make all 3 balls before he gets that. If he misses one of those balls, then, he's probably going to lose the game. But if he makes all 3 of those balls, you could just say stalemate.
Well, maybe you as a referee is going to have to step in if it comes to it.
It's just, it's. I just don't think in a game where it's an out, it's an out for somebody that's not thinking they're going to win the game.
Mm-hmm. It's a bailout option.
Well, that's not going to happen. Is Zangestu's going to win it the old-fashioned way here.
Well, do you think he's going to be able to? I don't think he's going to be able to do anything here at all.
Why?
Well, are you talking about coming down to the bottom of the table and potting the yellow and the red?
Not from here. He can't do it from there. He's not in a spot where he can make a yellow and get the red in.
Yeah.
But he probably will be. But, you know, Mark Shark here, he's got a good chance to make stalemate.
Yeah, semi-pro's right, though. You know, Mark Shark's on the red now. This red here should be probably bumping it around the table to try and, you know, create something that can give him a shot to play that red and then get onto the yellow and knock his own red in.
It's not a matter of misunderstanding strong positions. It's a matter of he can force the stalemate if he wants to. And well, I don't like that.
Well, that's
well, that was a hell of a shot.
That's what.
That was a hell of a shot. Like, if you didn't think you could do that, then, you know, you'd probably want to play for the stalemate. If that yellow stayed up, then, you know, you're screwed and you're going to lose the game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Mark Shark has strong position, and then he ends up losing if he doesn't play for the stalemate. And, I don't get that.
I'll tell you what there is in pubs, Simanx. There might not be any referees, but there's a button of Q across somebody's forehead, if you know what I mean. If there's a disagreement, you could settle it that way. You could settle it that way in a Glasgow pub. And I'm sure many have been settled that way. But anyway, Mark Shark's got 2 in a row.
Yeah, the problem with the rules is that they tend to get band-aided, and the English and Scottish especially like to do this. I mean, the American pool rules,
here we go,
for the most part, have not been band-aided. You know, it's like the foul and miss in snooker. That's a Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid because the rules didn't work. So they come up with this rule that's subjective and complicated because the rules weren't working. And if you go back and look at the history of the snooker rules, you're going to find that they've continuously changed them, and most of them are Band-Aids. And the problem with Band-Aids is they never work completely right. Or I shouldn't say never, but they rarely work well.
Well, I've got a quick question just to interrupt, Steve. Do you think that the one big solution in snooker, the one big solution, and this is going down the American way, is you have to get a ball to a rail? So that stops you rolling up onto a ball to snooker somebody.
I don't. I mean, it would help, I think, make those situations come up less, but it doesn't solve the basic situation of
well, it's going to come up loads of times in the World Championships in the next 2 weeks, because you're going to have it. You know, a player pots a red, cue ball runs down to ball, and he nails the guy in the green, and then the incoming player has like 3 or 4 goes to hit the ball on, and so it's foul and a miss each time. But then again, you know, you can argue to your blue in the face that the foul and the miss in snooker is there, and especially in the professional game. I mean, in clubs and places like that, they won't play the foul and the miss to the level that it is in the professional game, because these professional guys, you've got to sometimes play half a dozen snookers before you'll actually get 4 points from a foul. The guys are so good at picking the lines. But
all I'm saying is, I'm not saying that there wasn't a reason to do it or it doesn't have some level of effectiveness. I'm saying that it was a Band-Aid, that, you know, the game went a certain way over the years, and they're like, oh shit, you know, we've got a problem with this because the guy can just miss on purpose. Well, so they came up with a rule to try to solve that. And, you know, it's just not a good rule. I mean, it's subjective. It's difficult to follow through and put balls back on the table in the right spots. And it wasn't how the game was designed. So it's a Band-Aid, and not a particularly good one. I mean, if I wanted to come up with a Band-Aid for snooker, I might have done something like free shot. That would have been a better Band-Aid than foul and miss, like what they do here in blackball. I mean, free shot's pretty effective, I think. And I don't think it's a terrible rule either. I think that's a, you know, very powerful strategy is work to get a free shot to solve your problems. Why can't you do that in snooker?
Now, then the question I would ask you there, Steve, is if, for example, let's say, how are you going to what's your role going to be in the free shot? Because it depends on what phase of the game you're in. Let's say, all the reds are still in the table, and a player commits a foul. Is the free shot a free shot on any ball, colour included, or is it in only the balls on?
Well, here's the thing, okay? I'll shortcut it. The reason why they don't do that is because the logic against it will be that that's too powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you an example. Let's say that we're playing and I'm a great player and you do that and I got a free shot and I use my free shot to take the cue ball and slam the reds that are all together in a rack as hard as I can and spread them out so I can just run a 130 or something on you. It's
exactly
it's too powerful, and that's why they're not going to do that, because it's too much. And really with the rules for pub pool, that's what in my opinion is wrong with the rules for the EPA rules, is that they give you a second inning, which is it's just too much having two turns at the table. Where it's a free shot where it's only one shot, that's quite a bit less than 2 innings. And eight ball and snooker are different games. It works better in 8 ball than it would in snooker.
I mean, you've got to remember as well. I mean,
I don't agree with that, Semi, because Mark Shark was in a position where it was going to be difficult to come up with like the last shot he shot. If that yellow would have hung up, he would have lost the game.
Right.
Would I say he had an advantage? Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a strong position because I don't think he had a huge advantage.
No.
I mean, when you got a huge advantage, that's what I call a strong position.
Well, Zangetsu's tied the 8 ball up with the yellow and conceded the free shot. Now, Mark Sharp is looking at getting rid of this red up the rail, which then obviously suggests he's looking for a hit off maybe that red into the side pocket, into the yellow, to nudge the black into play.
Well, Mark Shark wins this game, and he's right back in this match.
Well, this is his chance. He's got to just ride his luck a little bit here, that he's still going to have a shot.
There's not too much luck. He just needs to hit this yellow pretty solid, because he's going to get a shot. He's going to get a shot, and he's not shooting this ball. Why is he not shooting the ball in the side pocket?
I mean, to me, that's the glaringly obvious shot you have to play if your intentions are to win this rack.
The problem with making these balls is that when he does shoot that shot, he's got less balls to shoot at, because you can't control the cue ball that well off that. You need escape balls. So you're going to pick all these balls up and then shoot that, and you leave that red to the last. Now you're hoping you come up with a shot on the 8 ball.
Exactly.
If you leave it to there's 2 reds left, now you're hoping you come out on a shot on that 1 red ball.
Exactly the point. And he's going to fall into the trap.
Mistake. Yeah, that was he was sitting perfect to bump that 1-8.
He's going to have one more chance to do it, and he should be doing it now. And if he can't see that to do it now, then he doesn't deserve to win this rack. If he can't make that decision, he's got to get over this side in a line where he's potting that red and bumping that yellow and 8 ball. Well, he's gone thin, but that's even better. And now he doesn't need to thump it. He only needs to bump it and get the 8 ball into the kitchen, somewhere like that, roughly. Just into the kitchen, and then he's on the last red. Where's the problem? The only problem's going to be he's too straight.
Yeah, he needs to be careful how he hits this, because That was the problem. He needed to put more speed on it to get more straight into the one.
Yeah, he needed it a bit heavier. Well,
he all he had to do was that same exact line and just add speed, and the cue ball would have come out and hit the one dead on and bump the 8 out where he was going to be guaranteed to get a shot.
Well, he's going all out for this, but the worst thing that's going to happen is going to rattle. It's going in clean. Maybe he's juiced it too much, though. He's juiced it too much.
He's got a shot. I mean, but he's in the same situation he's been in time after time this match.
This is
difficult on the 8 ball.
4 times he's got there, and I can't see him doing anything with this. I mean, this is a cut. This.
But he made the mistake 5 balls ago, where he should have broken those out.
Yeah, he was right on it right at the start of the visit, and that's what he should have done.
Well, I like that idea, except for the fact that the 8 ball came back and bumped it, and
it's still in the same place. Yeah, it's still in the same place it was anyway.
If he could have got him locked on that yellow, well, it was an 8 ball coming off the rail and bumping it again. So this is another loser. This is what, the 3rd or 4th game?
Well, this is the 4th. But he's got to the 8 ball and can't get there. But again, he walked into it because the first shot he had was get rid of the one on the side. Didn't do it. Then got on it and then didn't play it right. And he could have been back to within 2 there, and it's back to 3. Well, provided Zangetsu can do this.
This is typical out of more novice 8 ball players. I mean, obviously Mark Shark has fairly good skills on VP4. I mean, he's able to run balls, move the cue ball. He's a skilled player, but he doesn't understand how to play 8 ball. And really, I think that's the only reason he's losing. I think if you look at how these guys have both played this match, I think Mark Shark has pocketed balls as good as Zangetsu or better.
Yep. I mean, I think you have to get to a level where you see a situation and that becomes instinctive. I think it does to players who played whether it be real life or this. I think things like that become instinctive. You're looking, you're looking at the table and you see, oh, there's a problem. Now I've got to deal with that.
I agree 100%. If you have to think a lot, it's difficult to play. You need to do it enough, and that's why there's no substitutions like playing. Play a lot of 8 ball, and you'll get good at it. If all you ever do is come in VP and play 9 ball all the time, then when you go to play 8 ball or straight pull or one pocket or whatever the game is, you're not going to understand how to play the game because you just don't ever play it.
Well, Zangetsu on the yellows. 4 rack lead, looking favourite.
Something occurred to me after seeing that one shot, Zangetsu shot. The biggest difference between this and bar table 8 ball is long rail banks. Like on an American bar table, a long rail bank is a easy shot.
Yeah, it's going in every time, pretty much.
Yeah, not on these tables because the angle you're coming at and stuff, I mean, you got to hit it pretty good to get it into the pocket, which allows you to play shots that are, really would be a sellout on an American bar table, whereas on this, it's legitimate play. Well, what do you think here, Hugh? Is he going to run out? I'm putting you on the spot here for the commentator curse. There's no trouble here at all. Well, all the balls are open.
Well, he's going to have to play the billiard off the red that's over the corner pocket because the yellow doesn't go. That's
No, the yellow goes.
well, it will go in off the red. Put it this way, it's going to make it a bigger pocket.
Well, the pocket's huge with the red there, yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe he's going to be really good on this yellow that he can just play it straight in. So he's going to have to use the red.
I'm not sure why he just shot that ball instead of the yellow in the side pocket. I guess he's just waiting for Laster. Now, the one thing you got to be careful about if you're playing a billiard off this red is not getting the red hooking you. Well, what's that?
Well, that wasn't my idea. My idea was get yourself out into a line to play it. He's going
he needed to hit that ball with some inside and put a little speed on it. He didn't even get the cue ball didn't even get to the rail. That's how easy you hit that. Well, now he's going to make it tough. I was going to say you don't want that red you billiard to come back on snooker your 8 or something, but now it's like he's still got to shoot that shot. Yeah, he's still got this.
I mean, it depends. Presumably he's going to play this at a sort of dead weight pace where the yellow stays there anyway.
No, he can't do that because it's a scratch. He's got to hit this with some speed. If he tries to play at dead weight, he's going to scratch.
Oh, he can, but you might be right. Yeah,
he's got to play this with some speed, and the best way to play it's going to probably be with left English and try to get the cue ball to go straight back and forth to get a shot on the 8. You can go 1, 2, 3 or 4 rails back and forth.
Their Stubb just copy and pasted his usual sentence. Well, he's played it well.
But he almost got snookered. I wasn't trying to commentate or curse him, but that
he's okay.
He got away with it.
He can just get to it.
And that's been the other story of this match. Zangistu has definitely gotten the rolls against Mark Shark. That's not all of it. Mark Shark would still be down, but it would have been a lot closer without some of these rolls that have gone Zangistu's way.
Steve, say this after me. Say Zangetsu.
Zangetsu.
Right, that's his name. Not Zanget. Not Zan. What is it you say? Zangestu. That's what you say.
Zangestu. Zangestu. Yeah, guess too. Like he's guessing. Maybe that's what I should say when he looks like he's guessing, on that last track.
Maybe his name's Zhang, and he gets you. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's why he's chosen that name. Ugly as hog's ass. Too true.
Zan gets you. Yeah, maybe that is why. Maybe his name is Zan.
He's been in the stream. He's definitely got a South African name. Because there's a mixture of Dutch in there, because the Dutch language has got too many vowels in it.
Well, did I ever tell you that English is my second language?
Oh, yeah. Who else other than the Americans could ruin the English language? Yeah. Spelling words improperly.
I'm subpar for an American, too.
Like colour.
If I can mispronounce something, I would.
Now, I'm just going to have a quick look at this bracket. This match that's going on at the moment. Cobra or semi-pro? Well, it's going to be a big step up for either of these two players, whoever wins. Let's just put it that way. So, if Zangetsu goes through or Mark Shark goes through, they're up to play semi-pro or Cobra. And that's the big jump in class. Larry. Larry's been using Wikipedia. Or Zangetsu in Japanese, I presume, or Chinese, I presume it's Japanese. Slaying Moon is the manifested spirit of Ishigo Kurosaki's Zanpakuto, as well as his inner hollow. Right, well, I'll get Larry there now to decipher that and explain it all to me. Anime, right. Right, so Zangetsu's on the yellows, and he's got problems. Haven't we all with this game? Now, the thing is, though, that these reds. Let's have a look at those two.
He should be playing for table position.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to get in behind that red and in or over the pocket.
Yeah, see,
Probably
making that. I would have shot the other one, the one right next to it, and so I could put it right in front of the pocket. Not shot that one in. He could have shot the other one and hung it right up in the pocket, because it would have hit the bumper. It couldn't go. The red was in the way.
Well, don't assume that VP4's full of Russians. I've not seen many. And if that was the case, then I think you'd ban most countries in VP4, because I think all of our countries have been involved in wars of one description of another.
Yeah, we try not to play politics in here.
Right, so
this is supposed to be someplace you have fun. Stubb is Russian. No, Stubb is Polish.
He thinks he's Polish. Right, so now what do you do? What do you do now that you've backed yourself into a corner and you've got yourself in this situation? I mean, if Mark Sharp doesn't win this rack, there's serious problems. I mean, he's whatever happens, he's got control of the table.
If that red was a little further out, he could play it off the back of it, but it's too close. I don't think that shot won't work. You got to have at least the ball space between the rail and the red to play that. Now he could.
He went for the cross bank.
He could just do something like this.
And he's got a bank on the 8 ball. That was that again. He's played it.
This bank isn't that bad. You hit this at reasonable speed. It's pretty close to dead on. It's
beautiful.
There you go.
Beautiful. Well, if that's the case,
we saw somebody shoot a bank shot.
If that's the case, Larry, then I'm Irish. I should have the Irish flag if we're going with ancestors.
I thought it was the other way around. I thought Scotch-Irish was Scotch that went to Irish.
No, I'm descendant of an Irish great grandmother, or great. I don't know what she was, but she was one. She was an immigrant from the west coast of Ireland. So, and my surname is Irish. So I'm Irish when it suits me.
I'm actually a quarter. I am actually a quarter Polish. I got something in common with Stubb. My grandmother on one side was Polish, and my grandfather was Ukrainian.
Well, so you're Russian as well, Steve?
Yeah, basically, there's not a lot of difference in Ukrainian and Russian, at least not back then.
Well,
now
not
there
back
seems
then,
to
yeah.
be, but not back then there wasn't.
Well, Zangetsu's showing that he's got that wee bit more upstairs than Mark Sharp. I think we would agree in that. In this game.
It's just been better strategy from Zangetsu. That's really been the only difference, and a couple rolls. But 2 rolls is only 2 games. I mean, the rest of it's been pretty much just strategy. Well, he can bank this yellow. I think that's the shot. Let's bank the yellow. that bank does go.
And between the 8 ball and the 3. And why do they call it the 3? The red.
Because it's red. Yeah. Yep. Well, the good thing is, you're going to bump that other red. You're going to have a shot up table. I mean, that's a winning shot if you make it. Yeah, he tried it. Didn't hit it good. Now, so you guys learn something else about banks. When you're back cutting a ball like that, it's going to put left English on that object ball, which makes a bank short. So you have to overcut it by like really almost another quarter ball there.
Oh, don't read the chat, whatever you do, Steve. Just ignore it.
Yeah, no. If I was related, I would not let anybody know.
Well, I don't think you're related. You're about, I mean, on that picture of you, Stub, you look about hobbit size, and Steve's, Steve's twice the height of you. So I don't think there's any blood there. Well, it's a big ask for Mark Sharp, but they're all
win one at a time.
They're all there to be taken out if he can get there. He's got the problem. Reds are these two down by the 8 ball. Really, that's the ones he has to deal with. But then the other problem is he going to be playing that last red as a cut up the table to get on the 8 ball if he gets there? It looks like it.
Well, he just came up short on this
and he's
one.
Shot.
I think
he's not got there.
Yeah. Well, he's going to have to shoot this one in the side. Shoot that one in the side. The good thing, don't draw it. Why is he drawing it? See, I don't understand why somebody would draw this ball.
Just let it
roll it.
Yeah, just roll it.
Okay, that was okay. He shot a little kill shot. That was okay. Because you just don't want to put speed on it. That wasn't a bad choice.
Now, this is one of these shots that looks so easy.
Boy, he came up way short. I don't know if that's because scared of hooking yourself, letting it run too much, but that was really short.
He might as well come right down to this yellow if he can. If he's coming down the left side.
He definitely wants to come on that side of it, of the 8 ball. But he doesn't want to hit the yellow.
Oh, he's hit it hard enough to get up table. That might have been the more sensible shot to play.
Yeah, that was the shot I was thinking he'd play. He hit a little firm, but it's fine. Okay.
Well, he's still alive.
Got the break. Let's see if he can break and run out here and, make a go of this.
Do you mean adopt him? Are you calling for an adoption here, semi-pro?
Yeah, I'm sure my wife would love him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that you could build a kennels out the back and keep him there, cage him up.
I wouldn't understand a damn thing he said.
No. Right, so Mark Sharp did get a ball in the break. I think he got 2 in the break, as a matter of fact. And
he's got 1 ball he's going to have to deal with. And let's see if he decides to get to that sooner rather than later.
Well, he's jacking up, trying to punch this in and get there, but he's stunned it into the pocket.
I'm not sure where he was trying to go with that. I
think he was trying to break it, Steve. He just didn't get into it.
Yeah. No, you wanted to shoot that and then get on this second ball out from the corner at an angle where you could come into him. He was a little bit. He could have done it from where he was, but it wasn't a great angle. It was a little too thin, and he was up against the rail.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you got to look at the balls and say, okay, well, this is my best option here. Use this ball as breakout, and I need to get in this area of the table to do it. It's not really that complicated. You just got to learn the right way to think. Well, Zangestu's going to use this free ball properly here.
Well,
He's actually got two problems because he's got the 8-ball. Yeah, I don't know how proper that was. I don't think that's where I'd want to put the red. I don't get that. I mean, I think he wanted to move that ball, but you didn't want to put the red there. And he's got another red locked up. I mean, ideally, you would have wanted to open both of them up, but you know, if you're only going to be able to do one, you certainly wouldn't call that opening it up.
Right, so
yeah, I'm not sure I'd shoot this ball he's shooting right now because that's a ball that you can use to move the red out of the pocket, or you know.
yeah,
I probably would have shot one of the ones up table and left that one. Because now, how's he going to get that yellow out of there? There's no easy way to get to it. He just shot the ball that was close to it.
now, well, I was going to go round to have a look and see whether he could just skim off his yellow ball and get in behind the red in that corner pocket. I never get enough time to get there.
Yeah, I mean, he already pretty much signed
that's it.
Yeah, well, now he's going to be able to fix his 8-ball problem here.
Now, he might be able to fix both problems here if he plays the 8-ball and just stuns in the corner. Well,
I think he probably can.
Well, I don't know why he's not doing it. He's looking at the ball, but I think he's looking at the line just to play it. I think he was just looking to see whether he's going to go in behind this or hit the yellow direct.
Well, he's got a lot of options here. I mean, he's got a shot that he can play these other two reds. There's a shot he can play those other two reds over towards that red by the corner and break the 8-ball out. It's a little risky in the sense that he's going to be moving a lot of balls and he could get tied up.
Well, put it this way: if this was me, I would have already played the shot.
That was the best shot, the one he just shot, because it was the simplest one.
Yeah.
And that red will go on the side. It's tight, but it will go.
Yeah, you can just get to it.
I'm not sure why he just didn't shoot the one in front of the corner. It wasn't blocking anything. Why leave that one when you're sitting right there?
I think is he on it now? Yeah, he's on it.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that's scary rolling that kind of shot. He's fine now. Now, this is a shot where you just have to come to the center of the table. It's not a hard shot. You don't want to try to get too far over and get perfect and bump that 8-ball. All you have to do is roll it. If you come out in a line where you know you're just a little left to center, you're probably going to be okay. He's going to shoot this other ball over here, which is probably okay. Unless, of course, you miss it.
Well, so what do you do here? Do you cut the yellow into the side and run 3 rails and try to get lucky? What's your options?
Well, I would. That's not a good choice. I like to run 3 rails and try to run into the second red down and move it and take a shot on the other one.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's got a shot here where he can...
Well, he can certainly
potentially get the ball out of there, just like that. Yeah.
That makes it interesting now. Now, I think where this cue ball's sitting, I think, well, Semi-Pro will be a better judge again as to whether Zangetsu can play this red and get it to go in with the yellow. the one that he's straightish on, there's a slight angle on it.
Well, again, you know, this is a thing where you know, there's one ball left for Mark Stark, so Zangescu has to protect against letting him use that ball to get to the other yellow. But if he does that, it could end up being a stalemate. Now that's a great shot because he put himself in a position to solve his problem. Mark Shark needs to get this ball closer to the corner pocket where his other yellow is. See, that is a counterproductive shot because how you going to break the ball from there? But now that he's in that position, the best thing for him to do is make his yellow and take the stalemate, because this is what I was talking about before, is he doesn't have a ball in position to break that yellow out. So, you know, a smart thing to do if you can't get that is just make it and take the stalemate. Now, if he can get that yellow ball in a good position, but he's not in that position. Now, this is smart, except it was smart not making it, but he wanted to get this ball like down by the other corner pocket so that he had a ball he could break out those balls with.
Well, this is jumping in at the deep end, trying to draw off this yellow. It's dead straight. He's going to probably hit the red. He's going to have to hope he holds and has a cut in the yellow up table.
Oh yeah, that ball goes by. It wouldn't be a stalemate anyways. That ball does go by. The problem with this shot is, I think at this angle, if he tries to draw it, there's a good chance that yellow's going to rattle and not go in the pocket. You know, he's hitting it straight into the cushion, and it might not go in.
Well,
now this is better. Get it in front of the side pocket. See, that's a good shot. Now, if you're Zangescu, you want to put your red down in this corner in front of the 8-ball, because from there you can break those other balls out. So you want to get it down here on this end of the table. Well, actually, from here he probably can with this ball. He's at an angle. He can actually. Why is he drawing it? That's all he had to do is go forward with right English.
Oh,
I don't get that. Yeah, he go forward with right English and run right into these reds.
Look at
he was actually sitting at a good angle.
He's now hooked. Well, it's an easy hit. He's going to have to go left side of the 8-ball, but he can certainly hit the red, no problem.
Yeah, that was just the wrong choice of moving the cue ball. It was the right idea to move down into those reds, but it was the wrong choice to move the cue ball. All he needed to do was top and right English.
Oh, what's happened here?
He just sold out.
He's left a gap. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and this is an easy shot. You want to make sure that you hit this with plenty of draw, because if you bump the reds, it'll still come out if you just nick them. The only bad thing can happen is scratching the side.
Yeah.
But you want to draw it enough that if it does bump the reds, it still comes up table and you get a shot in the side pocket.
Well, you can get a bust through there.
You're right there. Shoot that one. Yeah, and he's probably just going to nick a red.
Yeah,
draw it and get some juice on this.
Well, this needs a good firm stun draw. You don't want to just put zap on the bottom of the cue ball and the cue ball's fizzing all over the place. You might not have a cut on this yellow. You just got to...
I'd put the Q-tip down pretty low, because you want to make sure that it's spinning so that if it bumps those reds, it comes out.
Well, what the hell is happening here? I don't believe it.
What was that?
I don't believe it. I mean, he's trying to roll to the yellow and push it to the short rail at the top, or trying to push it over the pocket. I mean, I don't know what his thinking was.
He got lucky. Zangescu made a mistake. He had a winning shot there by just shooting that yellow into the corner. I don't know. I'm just,
Well, like I said earlier, I think Zangescu's got a bit more upstairs than what Mark's got, because Mark's sort of lost the plot there.
Yeah, you just want to make sure you don't lock your red against your red here, funny. That's the only consideration. And that's a good shot. Yeah, that was a real mystery choice there.
Well, I am denying. I mean, again, to me, there was no thinking about it. I would have just played the shot, get the cue ball out.
Yeah.
You know, too much think. This is where people do start overthinking things. You know.
Well, look at this.
Yeah. Well,
look at this. This is kindness beyond beyond the Call of Duty here.
He's got to watch if he's playing the bank that he doesn't stun this cue ball into the side pocket. As he's going into he's going into the opposite side again. He's nailed it, perfect.
Yeah.
So Zangetsu, one away.
Now see how easy it is to make banks in those side pockets. I mean, people ought to be shooting banks as part of their pattern play in these side pockets, like at the beginning of the rack, because they're not that hard. I mean, that was not a gimme bank because it was a back cut bank, so you had to overcut that one a little. He still just fired it in like it was nothing. Well, I'll tell you what, Mark Shark is going to go back and watch this match and hopefully learn something because.
Well, I hope he does. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a good enough game to be pretty competitive in this tournament. Well, there's going to be some work to get out on this rack. Yeah, he needs to shoot this ball in the side pocket because that opens up the other ball there to the corner pocket.
I think he's just going to roll through and take it up table. Looks like it.
Yeah, well, that's why you had to shoot that ball in the side first because this ball that he's going to shoot in the corner didn't go until he moved that other ball. So yeah, this is just a little stun over, and then shoot the other ball in the side pocket. And
I don't think he likes the angle on this red. The other problem as well is there's only one of those reds goes.
All you got to do is stun this. It's just a stun shot. It comes right over to the rail, and then you're pretty straight. See, the problem with doing that, if he would have stunned that ball and then shot the ball in the side pocket, he had a perfect angle. He stopped at a perfect angle to roll that ball he just shot and then get on the other red in the other corner pocket. He was done.
Nice.
Now he's going to have trouble getting on that red.
Serious trouble now. This is a dodgy this.
Yeah. When you can go stop, roll the cue ball, and get on the problem ball, that's a guaranteed. You're going to do that every time. Even leaving it for the last ball isn't really that risky because everybody can shoot a stop shot to play shape.
So Zangetsu's awkward over the red if he's going to shoot the yellow up the rail, but that would be one opportunity to get rid of it.
Yeah, he's thinking about that. I mean, that's get a chance to get rid of the biggest problem on the table right now.
Now, if the line if he pots that yellow, the line that the cue ball's taking is sort of that direction. He could take that yellow into the side and deal with the problems up here because they're not really a problem. He's just got to make sure he gets good on the one that's behind the red up in the top right hand corner. But he could run the cue ball out some sort of line roughly like that. To play this
there's
yellow.
Enough reds on the table that this is not a gimme out. Of course, you could just do that and miss it, but that's fine. I mean, has he blocked other pocket? No, he did not.
And what he has done though is he's blocked the top pocket for that red that's next to the yellow in the side pocket. So
this is not easy.
Yeah, Zangetsu's
it just got harder.
He's odds-on favourite now.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Zangetsu should be winning this rack. I mean, Mark Shark's going to have to do something amazing right here to get out of this. I mean, you really don't have much. You got a 2-rail bank up here in this corner where the other red is. And very difficult to get up here and break that red out. Most likely you're going to hit on the corner of that side pocket, and that's not going to go the right direction.
That's a foul. I think he hit the yellow first. Unless my eyes are deceiving me.
Yep.
Well, Zangetsu can deal with the problem with the 8 ball and the red and the yellow that are all together. So Mark may well have played his last shot.
It would be nice to get this 8 ball out of there and put that red right on the rail. Try to put the red so that it's frozen on the rail. That's what I'd be looking to do, is move the 8 and nudge the red over on the rail.
Yeah, just skim it off the red.
Well, from the other side, keep moving around and shoot the 8 easy and kind of bounce it off the rail and let the cue ball bump the red and go right to the rail, and then you got a shot on the yellow.
Well, you went the other way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he does have a blocker on that red. So, I mean, and that's a natural last ball to shoot because you can use that to get on the 8 ball. So that play actually ended up being pretty good.
Well, for anybody who's joined us late, we had the 2 matches tonight. We had this match was the original match I was going to stream at 7 p.m. And we also then had Albinario against Mal starting 15 minutes later. So we started off with this match, went to the Mal and Albinario match, and at 4 racks to 1 down, Mal quit. He bailed out. He'd had enough. So Zangetsu is going to leave the last yellow, presumably. That'd be the obvious one to leave to get onto this 8 ball, the one that's to the right of the 8 ball. But again, he just has to be good on it, so he's not running into it or doing anything like that. And he should be fairly straightforward. He can go, well, maybe not. Maybe he wants to check this a little bit. He's got a funny angle here where the cue ball wants to squirt away. So he's got to get a line where he's not. This is why he's probably taking the one that he would want to keep for last now. Yeah. Very serious. He said, good game, good match. And that was it. As Mark Sharp's about to do as well.
Well, it could have been a tight match.
It should have been a lot closer than this, Steve. Let's be honest. I mean, those 4 racks that Mark couldn't get to the 8 ball. I mean, there's 10 on the scoreboard if you give him that. But as I said, Zangetsu just a wee bit more worldly wise than Mark was. I think maybe the main difference, they can pop balls, but
Hugh, it's not just 10 on the scoreboard. At that point, the score would be 10-9, Mark Shark, because
you got
to take those 4 games away. It's an 8-game swing.
I mean,
it's an 8-game swing on that.
You're quite correct. Yeah, I mean, all of those opportunities he's had, and he didn't get it done. So, quick look at the bracket. I'm going for a coffee. As I mentioned earlier, Zangetsu, he's the dark horse of the tournament. What did we say after we saw his first match against, who was he playing? Who did he beat in the first round? I've totally forgotten. He beat...
Stubb, wasn't it Stubb he played?
No, he beat...
that was the second round.
He beat Tornado Tam, 13 racks to 2. And then he's beaten Stubb 13-10, and now he's beaten Mark Sharp 13-6. But, now we do know that it's going to be a big test for him. But, strategy-wise and being a bit sneaky, can maybe frustrate whoever he's going to meet, but he's going to meet a strong force. Let's just put it that way. It's either going to be Cobra or semi-pro, and he's going to be fully tested.
He's going to have to step it up.
Yeah.
He's going to have to start accepting the table and shooting the shots that he really needs to shoot, and not try to cinch things or shoot the easy way out, because he's not going to beat those guys playing the way he did this match. He's going to have to step it up quite a bit.
Right. Now, we always talk about Stubb getting jammy draws in these tournaments and getting it easy to start off with. Look at Albinario. Albinario has had a comfortable win in the first round, 13-3 against Simax. He's had a forfeit in the second round against Mal. He's now sitting in the third round, and he's going to either play Spud Boy or Dirties. And Albinario is bang on odds-on favourite that he's going to win that match, with the greatest respect to those two guys. They've got a slim to zero chance of beating Mal in the race to 13. So Mal's progress looks, Albinario's progress looks fairly good here. Further down, we have the Spud Boy Dirties match, which is actually going to take place in half an hour's time, guys, but I'll leave that for you to watch. I won't be here. And then further down in round 2, we have Snake Eyes, who is up against, round 3, against Larry. So that's going to be a good match as well. That hasn't been set yet. The deadline date's April the 30th, so there's plenty of time for Larry to get some practice in, get himself a decent mouse. He's got plenty of time to do that. He can even save up a few dollars and buy one.
You're so mean to Larry.
And then further down, of course, we've got Cobra and Semi-Pro in round 3, and Zangetsu is already racing into round 4, waiting on them. One loss side. Earlier on, for those guys that might weren't here, I was trying to get hold of MC Clarkey during the week. Got no response, but he's turned up today. He has got the dreaded COVID and is in recovery of that. But he thinks he should be good to go. He was trying to get a hold of his opponent today, but I don't think he had a response. But it looks like he'll be playing his one-loss side match. The one-loss side, well, there's lots of matches to happen there. Tornado Tam's arranged his match with Ice Age. That's going to be, when is that? 2 days' time, is it? And it's in the morning, and I'll probably be on holiday then. What was the match I mentioned? It was going to be the 16th. I think I got that wrong. Yeah, that's in a couple of days' time, Spud Boy. That's at 10 p.m. So that really covered. Do we want to look at the stats? Let's have a little look and update ourselves with the stats for the tournament. What do we want to look at here? Racks Run. Let's have a look at that. We've got Semi-Pro and Tommy, who are on 10. Snake Eyes still in 8. Now again, take that into context. Some guys have played more racks than others. LS3's in 4th on 6, Cobra on 5, Albinario on 4, Larry in 4, and then Zangetsu in 3. If we look at 8-ball shot, Mark Sharp shot 40. Well, there's Mark Sharp's problem there straight away. You know, he's had 8 balls, 45 of them shot, but only 30's gone in. So his strike rate's not that great. Zangetsu, however, has had 40 shots at the 8-ball, and 38 of them have gone in. And I think that's probably about maybe the best average for the look of it. Tommy has had 40, 34 has gone in. And then you've got Popman, 31, Snake Eyes, Larry. Larry's had 31 and 26 come in. Snake Eyes is the same. And Popman's, again, the same problem as Mark Sharp. He can get there, but he can't get good on that 8-ball often enough. 31 shots and 19 have gone in. What else do we want to look at? Is it break stats? Average balls or runouts from the break. Right. Runouts from the break, we've got Semi-Pro, Snake Eyes and Tommy all tied at the top with 7. And then close behind is Cobra. And then it tails away. We've got Albinario with 3. And we know that the run out from the break in this game is so difficult. You know, you really need to get a nice good break, ball's not tied up, you've got less work to do. And the average balls made, I don't think this makes a big difference, but Tommy has now gone into the lead. Snake Eyes was there for a while with his 5 or 6 balls in the break he had, but he's down to 1.59. Quagmire is in third, but again, this goes by matches played as well. Let's look at breaks. Does that make a difference? That's better. That's the one I should be pressing. So Tommy is at the top. Zangetsu's in second with 28 breaks and an average of 1.1. Snake Eyes in third, 27 breaks and 1.5. Mark Sharp, 26, 1.1. So, I mean, there's lots of sort of stats that are fairly close. But I think there's one more that I want to look at this. I can't think what it is. What was the one that I wanted to look at? No, I think that is it, because the other ones aren't really that relevant. Anyway, rather than me rabbiting on, Steve wants to get away. He's probably gone. He's probably bored and fallen asleep. So that is it for tonight, folks. Thanks to Steve for joining us. Disappointing what happened in the big match, but Albinario marches on, and good luck to all the remaining guys in the tournament, and thanks everybody for joining. So I'll bid you good night. Take care.
Good night, guys.
Good night, Steve. Stay safe, and we will see you again soon.